right. Hey, welcome to the Round 6 podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Brad.
I'm Alex.
And with us is Mike Jones, the metal master from Exile Fab. Thank you for joining us, man.
Hey, no problem.
Dude, I can't say thanks. You were a big part of our world here.
Yeah.
In the, as we call it, the Round 6 experience, because that's a sexy name. Man, without you, we wouldn't be collecting email addresses and other valuable contact information from people without the use of your awesome stands. Man.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you again.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
no
was
problem.
phenomenal.
I'm glad to contribute a little bit that I can.
Yeah.
Wanted to say thank you. With that said, hey, we're done.
Yeah. See you later.
And cut.
Yeah.
So, man, how you doing today? How's your
Good.
day at the show?
Oh, it was really good. We got here right when it opened, and we've been just cruising around all day, me and the wife and the kids, and had my mom and dad here for a little while, and we're just cruising around, and we pretty much went everywhere except the outside, the car show area out there.
Right.
We got out there, and the kids are tired, and kind of just.
Well, I was going to say
Gave
they're
up
doing
right there.
great. You brought little kids. You brought like a multi-generational thing
Yeah.
into this, which
Yeah.
is really a big part of the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people always ask, "Oh, are you gonna bring the kids?" And for me, even though it is a lot more work, I want to make sure that the kids do,
Yeah. Yeah.
come to the car show.
Get a chance to experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best to keep the generation going of kids interested in doing that.
And that's the way to
So,
start it. You
yeah.
get them interested, and especially if you make it fun. If
Yeah.
you make it one of those things where you're like walking around, go, "Don't touch that, don't touch that," and slap on their hands. That's reinforcing that whole negative thing. And finally, you go, "Want to go to a car show?" No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, like when he came by here, kids, stickers.
Yeah. They're the
Right.
swag kids, man.
Stickers, yeah.
You get them a
Yeah,
bag, and they stop at every booth and collect the stickers, business cards, and everything. They just and like
Sign you
they're-
up for solar. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, kids.
Yeah. It's like, what's your address? Desert?
Yeah. Wow.
Parents
Yeah.
use electricity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
So
No,
man,
they do. Asher, my oldest, he actually his favorite car is a '55 Bel Air.
Great
So
choice,
he's actually
great
he's
choice.
actually has a favorite car. So yeah, he's been keeping an eye out, seeing them all, and he knows when it's a '57, it's not the one.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, he does. He really likes cars, but yeah, just walk around all day. They're a little bit burnt out, but yeah, it's been a good day though. It's been really fun. A lot of people, a lot of cars. It's been a lot of fun seeing, especially all Chip Foose's cars.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
some of the other big builders out here, and some amazing cars out here.
being
Just
across
taking-
the aisle from that
Yeah.
really doesn't help the whole being jaded by this industry thing. You have a favorite in the show?
No.
I love asking that question.
No.
I ask that to any car guy. It's the
Yeah.
greatest loaded question ever. That's another litmus test. Like, do you have a favorite car in the show? Yeah, I got like that.
Yeah, I can find I can find a car like, for instance, right there, Chip Foose's Ford. I'm not much of that body style Ford guy, but that truck is super gorgeous and built just absolutely beautiful. Like there's even cars that I don't care for the body style, but I'll go up and look at them and look at how they're put together.
Yeah.
And you can still get ideas from it. You can still, respect the way they put it together, and just, be amazed at some of the craftsmanship on the cars, even if it's a car you don't really like, And I just like look at, like, I'm a truck guy. I like trucks. So for me, I was always keeping looking on a truck, and there's not enough trucks here. That's the only thing that I have a complaint about. I mean, there's no C10s out here.
There's a few. They're sprinkled here and there, but you're right. Yeah, it's
And
definitely.
so. But for me, I was kind of keeping an eye on trucks, but I didn't really see any.
Was there anything outside around the buildings?
There's a couple, but not really my style.
Right.
No brodozers.
No. Yeah, but yeah, there was a truck out there lifted with 24s and rubber band knobbies.
Oh, awesome.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, let me try that again. Take two. Awesome.
Yeah.
It had a teal suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's painted white.
Yeah. Everything's painted white, even the calipers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there's some cool stuff out here for sure.
Yeah.
So it's cool because we missed the SEMA show.
Yeah.
So it's cool being able to come out here and
A little
see
closer.
a lot closer.
And you can bring the kids.
Yeah, and you
So-
bring the kids.
It's like
Yeah.
SEMA light.
Yeah. So it's neat coming out here. We're having a good time.
So get to you, the meat of our whole thing, man. Your shop, you do amazing work.
Thank you.
I didn't want to fanboy this, but man, I watch your stuff, and like I told you earlier, I have touched myself so inappropriately. See your work. I'll say it's been weird because there's been shots of it with you in it, which conflicts me. So
It's very confusing for him.
It's a little gay, but it's okay.
It's a lot actually when you get into it. But no. So how did you get started, man? Where did you pick up the trade?
Didn't you watch the video?
Well, I'm saying for our people who aren't listening.
Not everybody's watched this, so you gotta. It's a little.
I can't have a spoiler in this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually have, my grandpa has his 32 here, and so I was just showing Brad or Alex a picture of it. So my grandpa's a hot rod builder, he always has been. So when we were kids, we used to go to all these car shows. That's why it's kind of big for me to make sure I have the kids here, because when I was a kid, we always went to all these shows with my grandpa, and it was my grandpa in the front, one of us kids in the seat, in the front seat, one of them in the back seat, or in the rumble seat, whatever, and we would always be coming to the car shows. And so as I got older, just spiked an interest in wanting to build cars. Kind of went a different direction. I kind of went the lowrider stuff at first, with the airbag trucks and all that stuff. But yeah, that's kind of where I started, was with just with my grandpa, being a big inspiration of mine, and kind of wanting to build cars like he built cars. And even though we never really it's kind of funny because I kind of went down that same path of building cars and stuff, but we never really built anything together. Just kind of.
Yeah.
We still could,
Yeah, you still could.
Right.
Still could.
I don't know. It'd be cool if we did.
Yeah.
But yeah,
His grandpa's
I've
got
done
some
things
cool
here
cars.
and there for him, but he doesn't really build as much as he used to, So a lot of stuff that he has always done all on his own paint work, everything. The last car he built, he kind of outsourced stuff because where he lives, he can't really paint in the garage anymore, and with neighbors, and just the changes in the neighborhoods from all the many years. And but yeah, so for me, I just kind of grew up around it and kind of went in a different direction with the lowrider stuff, and then from there I kind of got into the off-road, and I just went building off-road race cars and off-road buggies and Jeeps and stuff. And the guys with the custom cars and stuff, I've kind of always pushed away, because I kind of wanted to pursue the off-road stuff, because I don't have a big crew guy, so I kind of have to be selective of what I do. And so what I did is this year we're full booked with just hot rods and customs. So yeah, we're doing something different. So different for me anyways. And I've done all this stuff, I've done hot rods and stuff, but it's been a long time. So it'll be nice this year we'll be putting out some cars that are done, painted, done, upholstery, everything on the street from my shop is a street car, not an off-road car.
Very cool.
So yeah, so it's a nice change of pace, So I'm excited. So that's kind of what's cool for me to come out here.
Yeah.
I haven't been to one of these kind of shows in a while.
Yeah.
And so it's cool coming out here and just checking stuff out and getting inspired with certain stuff. And,
a little different than the Off-Road Expo.
Oh yeah. Same location, way different. Yeah. Not as many flat bills. I can see everybody's eyebrows. It's pretty weird.
The tops of everybody's
tops of ears.
Tops of your ears.
Yeah, I can see the tops of ears and people's eyebrows. It's pretty nice.
Well, you got a couple really cool projects going on in the shop right now. Can you talk about any of what you've got going on right now?
No, they're top secret.
Oh, sorry. Next question.
Now we got the 64. We have a Lincoln Continental. We're doing a Nelson's Racing Engines twin turbo motor in it, which according to them we should be right about 1,300 horsepower. And so that car, pretty much we cut the whole floor out. We got rid of that 9 million pound unibody system in it, and we did a full tube chassis that's still all welded in though. And then we're doing Hydra shocks, so it's still on coilovers, but it can drop all the way to the ground. And so when it raises up, no matter if it's 2 inches off the ground, 4 inches off the ground, it's right on a coil spring or coilover. And with that car, we're doing 22s, but like 22 by 15s in the rear, or 14s, so it's got a big meat in the back, you know. So we're doing something totally different with that car than you normally see with one of those Lincolns, you know. I after we did decide to build that car, we did find another twin turbo Lincoln online.
Oh no!
I know, but it's still not the same style. You know, like we're kind of going like kind of race car style, you know, with it. So we got that car that we're building, and then we have doing some collaboration with my buddies that owns Wasp Automotive, the paint guy, and we're doing a 53 Bel Air for one of his customers. So right now I'm doing the chassis work and everything. Chassis is just about done. So bring the body over and do I'm pretty much doing all the fabrication of that car, and it's leaving. So I'm not doing final assembly and all that stuff on that. And we have a 65 Mustang we're just doing a full restoration on. Just a really nice street car, nothing crazy. And then the shop truck, the 65 C10. So that one I'm really excited about, because it has been a long time since I've had a street car, or street truck or whatever. You know, it's always been off-road stuff. So very, very excited about that truck. With that truck, what we're trying to do is we're going to actually be I could have done like a full tube chassis, you know, but I want to keep the factory frame because we're going to be designing like kind of bolt-on. So the front crossover and everything bolts on that truck. So we're actually going to be designing a full crossover and arm assemblies that bolt in that chassis, and like frame boxing assemblies that people can weld in, and new body mounts that will body drop the truck just flush with the frame, and core support brackets. And just I'm going to try to market that truck as a, you know, for some of our newer products we're going to be trying to put out. Because even though I haven't been in this scene lately, I have so much experience with all the fabrication and stuff, and building street cars and everything. So I'm just excited to get into doing all this stuff. You know, I mean, with me doing the lowrider stuff, all the airbag trucks for so many years, and you know, and then doing I did a lot of NHRA drag car stuff, and then just customs. I did that stuff for a lot of years, but I've taken a break on that stuff for a number of years, so it's going to be cool getting back into it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So, I got to ask the typical plain vanilla question. What was your first car?
My very first car was a 1969 Volkswagen Bug.
So you started with the Bug thing, huh?
Yeah, I started with the Bug thing, and that's kind of what got me into the lowrider stuff, is because I bought a piece of junk Volkswagen to build. So I bought it when I was in middle school. And then I wanted to build it myself. So I just started buying Hot VW magazine and reading articles, and I took it home, and just when I was in middle school, I started just tearing into it, and like, well, I guess I'll figure it out, you know? and yeah, so when I got it to kind of a certain point where I kind of have everything mocked up, I seen a Bug that was on airbags, all slammed. I'm like, man, that's cool, man. I want to do that to mine. So this guy I was doing some work with, I was kind of working with him, making money on the side, just welding stuff. His name is John. He told me, he's like, hey, if you come help me, just bring your Bug over, and on the weekends, I'll help you, you know, fab up this stuff and this and that. Actually, you know, that was actually before I knew how to weld, because he was welding it for me. That was when I was just helping him out in the shop. And so on the weekends, we would just thrash on this Bug, and I'd stay the night at his house, and we just thrash on this thing on the weekends. And me and him both knew nothing about airbags. We're just like, oh, I guess we're going to bag this Bug. He built sprint cars, you know? So he's like, what is this sack? This rubber sack? You know? What is this thing? And yeah, we both didn't know. And so we put all the bracketry in and kind of figured it out and bagged it and got it to lay. And that was the end of that story. Got it all done, all fab work. I brought it home and started doing all body work. And I finished it, that car. So all through high school, I was building that car. Because I didn't make a lot of money, you know. So all through high school, I was finishing it. Senior year, I finished it. I got to drive it all senior year. So it was pretty good payoff, you know.
graduated?
So, but through high school, I drove a piece of junk Mitsubishi Montero. While I was trying to finish my car, I'd tell my friends, I'm like, dude, you don't know how cool I am.
Yeah.
I have a cool car at home.
Yeah.
Just wait.
I swear I have it.
Wait.
I really
You didn't
do.
have
I'm not
phones,
lying.
You know, and when I was in school, it's like, you just wait. Come over. My car's so cool.
I just wonder how, like, everybody always says, like, oh man, it's like pot is like the gateway drug. As we're finding through the podcast, dude, I really think the gateway drug is either like Hot VW magazine,
Yep.
or for the most part, like maybe like street trucks for a lot of guys.
Yep.
Mini trucking magazine.
Yep.
It's funny that led so
Yeah.
many people into
Yep.
this thing.
Well, that's what led me into the mini truck stuff. Is when I got my car done, I was like, we went to a couple Volkswagen shows. I was like, man, this is dumb, you know? They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all-
you know?
they're
I'm
all-
like, I mean, how many Volkswagens can you look at? That's kind of what I was. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't like a Volkswagen nut. I got a Volkswagen because they're cheap. My dad built Volkswagen motors. He was good at it. My brother had a Bug, so I'm like, I guess I'm getting a Bug, you know? And so then we took it to, the very first show I went to was the Severed Ties mini truck show. And it was actually here.
No doubt.
But it was just by the racetrack, just a small area. And I won first place in the Volkswagen class.
Wow.
But then that's when I saw these trucks like bagged and laid out. I'm like, dude, these trucks are bad, you know? So when my Bug broke, because they all do,
Of course.
I went and got a mini truck. I was telling Brad when he interviewed me, it was really funny because my stepdad's co-signed. We went to Toyota. It was a new used, but it was still a new truck. Got a new truck, Toyota Tacoma. He told me he'd only buy it if I didn't lower it. And I,
Sure.
yeah, sure. Is that going to make you sign this paper? But I knew. I was like, man, he's going to be pissed.
The trick then, I think, would be to lower it just incrementally.
I did.
Like it's super small.
So
increments
after
so
like
it
having a
just
truck
gets
for like
used
a
to it.
month, me and my buddy were like, we should pull leaf springs out the back, mono leaf it. So we did. Pull leaf springs out, and then it was like the drive shaft was rubbing on the cross member. So I'm like, oh, just cut the cross member out. And before you know it,
Yeah.
it just started
Yeah.
butchering it up.
It all snowballs from there.
Yeah. I'm like, look, it still has a bed liner.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
But when it airs out, the bed liner just kind of bubbles up. But yeah, so that's kind of where that all started. But yeah, Volkswagen was the first car.
Yeah.
Man, so I know it's all been gone over. If you watch, when you see the video, but question, learning how to weld.
Yeah.
How did that come up? What was your inspiration to learn, or was it I want to learn how to weld, or was it I need to learn how to weld because I'm working here, kind of thing?
Well, you know, my grandpa was a hot rod builder, but he still gas welded. He was old school, you
Wow.
know? So I remember seeing him like gas weld and stuff and arc weld. And that's kind of what I thought welding was. I didn't know wire feed until I got a little bit older. My buddy John, I was talking about earlier, he built like mini sprint cars and stuff like that. And I actually used to hang out with him a lot when I was young because he lived down the street from me. And when I used to hang out with him, he was a good MIG welder. He MIG welded everything. And I was like, man, I want to learn how to weld, and then I can work for him, you know? So I kind of learned how to weld from him, MIG welding. And then I got my own little welder, little buzz box, and I just started messing around in the garage and kind of started just doing all my own stuff then. But when it came to TIG welding, I mean, many years down the road, I want to learn how to TIG weld, but the people I knew that could TIG weld, I would see their welds, and I'm like, I don't really want them to teach me because it doesn't look right. So I actually went to school. I enrolled in Victor Valley College just for the TIG program.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so I took the TIG class there, which is really, really good. And I caught on really fast. And before I was even done with the class, I ended up getting a job as a TIG welder at Daytech Motorcycles.
Oh, badass.
Yeah, well, chopper frames and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I worked there for a few years, and then I got picked up by Rob, building race cars and stuff. And that's where I kind of learned about all the Pro Street, NHRA, drag racing stuff. I knew nothing about that stuff before I worked for Rob.
Really?
Yeah, so I worked for him. I already knew about off-road stuff because I was doing stuff for my cousin and you know, miscellaneous jobs, but not a ton. I was still doing like the lowrider custom stuff. But I ran into Rob at Hiders and Fasteners. Because I worked at Daytech, they had a TIG welder. I didn't. I still had only a MIG welder. So they'd let me bring in like my 4-link bars, my fuel cells, and I'd weld them at lunchtime. So I'd tack them all up in my garage, and I'd go to work. I work nights, and then I would TIG weld all that stuff on my lunch break and after work and stuff.
Way cool.
So I remember one day I had the fuel cell in the bed of my truck, and Rob walked in. He's like, "Hey, man, did you weld that fuel tank in the bed of your truck?" It's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You want a job?" I was like, "Well, I have a job right now, but sure, I'll come work part-time." And that's what I did, and then I got laid off at Daytech because the motorcycle industry crashed.
Yeah, it crashed. When it crashed
quickly. Bad. It got
quickly.
so bad that it was like I worked nights. We had at least, man, I'd say 20 welders, and it got down to just me and my supervisor. And I'm like, dude, they're gonna fire us because they're not gonna keep this whole place open just for us at night. And sure enough, they came in like, "Hey, either you guys are gonna switch to days or you're out of here." So I switched to days, but it was just a big nightmare. So I called Rob. I'm like, "Hey, man, can I work full time?" He's like, "Heck yeah." So I went and worked for him full time and learned a lot of stuff there about drag cars and all that. And I worked there for a long time.
You were there a while.
Yeah.
So I did my own thing in my garage, and I worked for him. And then I moved on to, he got slow, and then I was building my very first King of Hammers car. Just before Ultra 4, so this was in like 2008. I started that car, and like 2009-ish, something like that, I started working for Jeffries Racing, building like trophy trucks, Class 1 cars and stuff.
Badass.
So that was a cool job, and he kind of picked me up because I was building my cousin Paul's King of Hammers car, and he saw that and stuff, and I was kind of looking for a job, and he's like, "Yeah, come work here." So I helped, me and this guy Cody worked there, and we kind of built his like first trophy truck, and we did that, and that was cool. And then after we got the truck done and stuff, I got pretty busy with my garage shop, and I was like, man, I should just do this full time, you know?
Yep.
So that's kind of what I did, and from there I kind of just went full time, but I was working out of my house. And then a few years later I got the big shop in Hesperia, and I was there for like 6 years, and then now I'm at my house again. I have a shop at my house now.
Badass.
Yeah. So
And
these
you're
guys
working
know.
Oh yeah.
You're working on like the coolest
Oh, yeah.
of the cool stuff, though. I mean, you're getting trophy trucks.
Yeah.
Dude. Class 1 stuff.
Yeah.
King of Hammer stuff. That's heavy duty. Like, and that's full on abuse.
It's all
Yeah.
fabrication
Yeah.
craziness.
Yeah, and
There's
I
nothing
built-
you're gonna buy.
Yeah, you don't
there.
start off. You don't go down and say like, well, I'll start off with the base model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trophy truck.
Yeah, and the King of Hammer stuff, it's gotten out of control now. There's guys, these cars are more money than the trophy trucks now. I mean, these King of Hammers cars, some of them, they got billet, aluminum portals, and I mean, they're just nuts. And these guys are spending $500,000 on these things
To take
just
it
to
out
go
and
beat them to
beat it
death.
death.
You know, a trophy truck, they run them, and bad day, they'll crash them and beat them up. But if you have a good race, I mean, the truck realistically isn't going to get beat to death.
Right.
You're guaranteed your Ultra 4 car is going to get beat to death
Yeah.
going through King of Hammers. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like
That thing's gonna be
chewed up. I mean,
destroyed.
just beat
Yeah.
to death. So like whenever I'm building those cars, I'm just like, man, it's just a shame.
Yeah.
Like this beautiful bulkhead assembly on the bottom is just going to get just chewed up, you know? And it's just like, and you got to think of those things when you're building those cars. Like, what is this car going to hang up on? Where's my points in? This is just going to get caught up in
Yeah.
the rocks, and you know. So, but I've built. I think the last car I built for Chris Gardner, owns Maximum Transmissions and Bowtie. We built his car. I think that was my number 7 Ultra 4 style rig that I've built. So I built, you know, quite a bit of those big time cars just for one guy, you know. But yeah, they're cool, man. They are fabrication pigs. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of work for me, you know.
Yeah.
So
Just to be in, pretty much a one-man show.
that Lincoln's a fabrication pig too.
Yeah.
But I think the payoff's a little greater because it's actually made to show off. the race cars are made to race, and if you're lucky, you can show it off.
Right.
you
And he's
know?
probably not going to climb a rock mountain with it either.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think he is.
Yeah, nah, probably not.
Well, do you guys ever I always wonder if somebody measures how much instead of going, we have X hours in this. If you go, well, this particular fabrication project has 29.7 million kilowatt hours into it.
Yeah.
You can't count it.
Kilowatt
imagine.
hour. That's how I do my welding prices. I go off a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
Let me look at my electric
Yeah.
meter here.
Yeah. I'll run it through the formula.
Yeah.
And figure out
Every
where
day
we're
just
at.
taking a picture of the meter.
Yeah.
These are your billable kilowatt hours.
Oh, today was a bad day.
Yeah.
That one's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I think on that last car, when you're building a car, you're welding some of the parts, because when a tube lands in a corner, on the off-road stuff, everything has to have focal points in the chassis. So a lot of tubes are double notched to go into corners, so that way the stress all kind of goes into one point. You're not trying to break that bar just out another bar that's in the corners. So a lot of it's welded underneath once you put the next bar in, So once you get that all done, there is a lot of it's welded, but you can't see. It's all underneath tubes. But I think I'm pretty sure I had 250 hours into TIG welding that chassis. The arms, axle housings,
Wow.
chassis. I just was welding for weeks. Just was terrible. But yeah, those things just are crazy, how much welding. Burning through gas and rod like crazy, But nuts. Yeah, there's definitely way more. It's funny because the hot rod stuff, there's a good amount of fabrication on it, but there's way more sheet metal fabrication in the hot rod industry,
Yeah.
with build these kind of cars, if you have to build a fender
Yeah.
or, panels, and they got to line up and they got to look like the factory panel. When you're building an off-road car, you're building a body for it. There's nothing you're trying to match. So if something doesn't really work out too well, I'll make it work. I'll just make the other side like that.
Yeah.
Hoping those the fiberglass fenders fit just somewhat close to whatever the door is, or the hood, or whatever you got.
Yeah, well, with cars like we do, the Ultra
don't have
4,
any
they're all
problems.
open-wheeled cars, so they're buggies. So it's really, if guys do really nice tin, it's hood, dash. Everything else is nice flat panels because they get beat up, and
I would do it just to leave the carnage behind. You guys know where I was. It's where did he finally go off the trail and wind up on the roof? You could just find the scattering of body parts and little fragments of
They
it.
call it
Yeah.
a yard sale.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, so that's pretty much that.
So, if you could, do you have a personal project, right?
Yeah, the C10.
Badass.
Yeah, it's like the shop truck, but yeah, that's my personal project. Is that I'm building it to sell it.
Okay.
So we'll see how that works
Hey,
out.
take note.
Yeah, building it to sell it.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't sell, I guess I'm keeping it.
Darn it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so that thing, I've always kind of wanted to be able to build a cool car, play with it for a little bit, and sell it. And then you get funded to build your next kind of car, build it, kind of play with it, and sell it. So that's kind of what I was going to do here. I have a really cool, I have a first gen Dodge. It's a 75, but I bought a 61 crew cab Dodge. I was going to build an off-road truck, like a really nice, luxurious pre-runner truck, and try and sell it, but I can't even afford to build it. So, so I'm going to go with a street truck, even though it's, still a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot more feasible
Yeah.
to build something like that for me, time-wise, money-wise. So, but then I can, bring it down to this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and you can drive it on the street and everything, have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Sneeze,
sneeze,
too.
man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die here.
That's what happens. I think whatever chemical they make our carpet out of is finally leaching it.
Acetate.
You're gonna walk out of here, the soles of your shoes are gonna be gone. Man, so I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Yeah.
man.
Hey,
Man,
yeah.
thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks
Yeah.
for being here.
Thank you again for the help.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big
No
help.
problem.
Big help.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime you guys need something, let me know.
At least you get an idea what the game plan is here.
Yeah. Oh, really cool booth.
Yeah, really cool.
Turned out really neat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially the bricks.
Yeah, everybody
Like
likes
the
the bricks. The bricks
Yeah.
are cool. It was a great
Backdrops are
touch.
pretty cool.
You know, I don't know, I forget what the name of the shop is, but they have, I think they're in building 4. I don't remember. They got a neat booth. You know what they did on their backdrop? They have, quite a bit of spaces. They hung big pictures of inside their shop.
Really?
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Huh.
Like one of the pictures, like, I don't know, just like a picture of like one of their big sheet metal tools, the cars in the background, like just different areas in their shop, and that's all their backdrops.
That's cool.
It's really cool. I was like, dang, that's
clever.
yeah, I like that one.
Clever.
I was like, man, it's probably expensive print. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mikey.
Yeah,
Yes.
no problem.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
man.
Seriously, pleasure to finally meet you.
Yeah, you too.
It was the
Yeah.
my day, man.
Yeah, we'll see you.